Hi, it's Barry here. I'd like to invite you to my next webinar, which is on the subject of hypnosis for ADD and ADHD for teens and adults. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, this is not about trying to cure ADHD or ADD at all. These people aren't broken. People with these labels are not broken. They're just thinking differently. And some of the strategies that they use to think are really fantastic. I mean, they can be some of the most creative people you'd ever want to meet, but some of the strategies they use are not as helpful as they could be. So in this workshop, I'm going to be teaching you how to create focus and concentration and attentiveness, how to work with improving their memory, and how to work with things like procrastination and things like that, so they become more mindful in the moment. So this is a really, really powerful seminar that can really create powerful change with those people who have been labeled with ADD or ADHD. And again, this is for teens and adults. So what we're going to be looking at is how to create attention and focus within that client so they can really begin to use their brain in a more laser-like fashion. One of the things that's often labeled as with people with ADD or ADHD is their attention can be somewhat disordered. Well, we want to create order out of that disorder, and we're going to do that with some of these techniques. You're going to learn a simple neurological trick that's going to calm down the hyperactive brain. Literally, it's going to calm the brain down so that the internal dialogue starts to slow down and they go into what's called a learning state. And if you teach children this is going to be really, really powerful, because when you teach them this and they go into their classroom, they can go into this learning state really, really quickly. Now, because of state-dependent memory and learning, if they learn in this state, when it comes to the actual tests or exams, all they need to do is to go back into the same state, and that information will be more readily available because of state-dependent memory and learning. We're going to be learning a quick mindfulness method to install attention and focus. Now, most of you have probably become aware of mindfulness, and the problem with trying to teach mindfulness to people with ADD or ADHD is they don't have the attention to do that. So it's got to be for something that can be taught to them very quickly and easily, and with a little bit of practice, they become better and better at it. We're going to teach how to use process imagery for study. And this is really important. Mentally rehearsing how to study and how to be in certain situations is really important. And this is obviously what we do in hypnosis a lot of the time. So if we focus on the process imagery, we can really create dramatic changes to their ability to learn new things. We're going to learn how to remove test anxiety. A lot of the problems that people with, particularly children with ADHD and ADHD have, is that because they've struggled to learn when it comes to tests or exams, they really become anxious about it. Well, we want to have a way of completely dealing with the test anxiety, neutralizing that completely. We're going to learn powerful memory techniques. Now, this is one of the things that I've learned over the years. Many years ago, when I did my NLP trainers training, we had to do a written test, which I think was 250 questions. Now, what I had done years ago, I'd learned a lot of memory techniques that some of the world's champion memory people use to memorize huge amounts of information. And so I knew what the questions were likely to be. So I memorized all that material. And as a result, I got virtually 100% of the questions right because I'd learned them and installed them. Now I'm going to teach you this strategy so that you can teach your clients who've got ADHD or ADD so that they can begin to learn really easily. Because if you know how to learn and how to memorize, it makes learning so much easier. You're going to learn also how to build on their skills. As I say, these people aren't broken. This is such a big mistake to think there's something wrong with these people. There's not. These people have got some incredible skills, and what we want to do is to build on that, to build on the skills they already have so that they can be even better. And then what we're going to do is learn a technique to blast through procrastination. Because again, this can be one of the things that people with ADD or ADHD have, is they tend to procrastinate. And so you're going to learn a technique that literally blasts through that. So at the end of this seminar, your workshop, you're going to be able to work with these clients really, really easily and create profound change in their lives. And again, this can be a real practice builder. You can help build your practice by learning these techniques and working with people with this diagnosis. Because when you do that, you are going to create a huge amount of positive publicity in your area, because people will start talking about you. So this is a really good way in. It's a great way to build your practice, to become an expert in how to help people with ADD and ADHD. So I hope you'll join me. Like all my previous webinars, if you can't make it on the day, as long as you sign up, you will get the recording the following day. The training comes complete with a manual as well. So I hope to see you on there. And I say, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be glad to answer them for you. We're not going to go too deep into all the neurological theories. I just want solutions. Like if you've been onto my other webinars, you will know that my webinars are full of practical advice of how to help people. We're not going to go too deeply into theory or anything like that. I don't want to get too controversial. It's one of the times, one of the big problems with teaching this type of work is it can be a little bit controversial. And some years ago, when I used to teach it live, it could quite often be a problem, because there would be people going, well, they need drugs, and there are people, no, you mustn't have drugs. This can be quite a controversial thing. I don't want to get into that. I want to get into the practical technicalities. How can you help people to improve their lives? That's all I care about. So I hope you join me on the webinar, and I hope to see you soon.